Crimes against public order, Article 134 to 160. Crimes against public order copyright is person Article 134 to 160 of the Revised Penal Code. Public order, mayroon tinatawag na structure or order o ang mga sinusunod ng community o society. For example, the government, kailangan sundin niya ng mga tao at saka yung mga nasa gobyerno dapat yung mga tao susunod yung mga leaders at yung mga nasa public office. Yung mga public officers ay tinatawag sila na public servants. So it does mean to say na sila ang tinatawag na ultimate power over the citizenry because in reality sila ay binigyan ng kapangyarihan ng mga tao. Dapat lang sila sundin ng mga tao. Kung hindi sila sumunod ay may paglabag sa tinatawag na struktura or order ng society or community. Then ang crime niyan ay paglabag sa tinatawag na crimes against public order. Article 134, Rebellion or Insurrection. Elements. Presence of A. Public uprising and multitude cannot be readily counted. B. Taking up arms against government. Rebellion. Ito yung mga krimen na ginawa ng mga rebelde. Gusto nilang pataubin ang gobyerno. Merong set up sa isang community or society. Halimbawa, ang gobyerno, ano ang mga patakaran ay sundin yan. So itong mga rebelde, ano ang kaibahan ng rebellion sa insurrection? Actually, they are synonymous terms. However, in terms of coverage, mas malawak ang rebellion, whereas ang resurrection mas narrower ang kanyang coverage. Uprising. Ano ang ibig sabihin ng uprising? Ito ay ang mga pag-alsa ng gobyerno. Ang sinabi dito, public. Pag sinabing public, generally yan, it talks of number of people that we can call a general number of people. So specifically, ang sinabi ng Supreme Court nito para masabi natin na public uprising, there must be what we call as multitude. Kapag sinabing multitude, the number should be such that is cannot be readily counted, meaning it can be counted alright, but right away it cannot be done because sa dami ng mga tao, ang rebellion ay continuing crime. Halimbawa, yung mga ginawa ng NPA, continuing yan, taking up arms against the government. So ang kalaban dito ay specifically ang government. Dalawa lang purpose, tandaan natin. Ang sa rebellion, we have to remember the keywords na removing at depriving. Purpose, political, removing from allegiance to government or its laws, territory or Philippines or any part thereof, or any body of land, naval or other armed forces. Or B. Depriving chief executive or Congress fully or partially of any of their powers or prerogatives. It could be a municipality or city in Davao del Sur, that is what we call as any part thereof. Hindi lang yan, hindi lang teritoryo, kundi yung armed forces. So it could refer to the army, any body of land or police, Navy, naval or other armed forces like the Air Force or other armed forces of the Philippines. So alisin siya sa ilalim ng gobyerno o sa batas nito. Depriving. Alisan ng kapangyarihan ang chief executive, president, or di kaya ang Congress. That is the Senate and the House of Representatives. So depriving the chief executive or Congress fully or partially of any of their powers or prerogatives. So alisan sila ng kapangyarihan. Article 134, Acop Ditat. Elements. Offender, person or persons belonging to a military, police, C, public office or employment. 2. Means of commission, swift attack, violent intimidation, threat, strategy or straight. Kapag sinabing swift is mabilisan na pag-atake sa pamamagitan ng violence, intimidation, threat, strategy or stealth. VITSS, ang shortcut ng ibig sabihin ng stealth ay hindi namamalayan. 3. Direction of attack, July constituted authorities of RP, any military camp or installation, communication networks, public utilities or other facilities needed for exercise and continued position of power, and for purpose of attack, exercise or diminish state power. Article 137, disloyalty of public officers or employees. Punishable acts. Number 1, failing to resist rebellion by all means in their power. Ito yung failure sa part ng officers na labanan talaga ang rebellion sa lahat ng paraan sa ilalim ng kanilang kapangyarihan. 2, continuing to discharge duties of their office under control of rebels. So, pa sa ilalim ng isang lugar ng rebelde, patuloy pa din sila nagtatrabaho. 3, accepting appointment to office under rebels. Inaccept nila ang mga appointment sa ilalim ng rebelde. Article 138, inciting to rebellion, insurrection. Inciting, udyukan ang mga tao na labanan ang gobyerno. Number 1, offender, not it taking up arms or be in open hostility against government. Not, hindi siya nakipaglaban sa gobyerno. Taking up arms, aktual na nakipaglaban na may armas laban sa gobyerno. Hostility against government, ang pagkalaban sa gobyerno. Number 2, act of offender, incites other to the execution of any acts of rebellion. Incites, kapag sinabi incites, ito yung udyukan ang ibang tao. Execution, udyukan sila na gawin ang alinman sa mga tinatawag na acts of rebellion. 3, means of inciting, speech, speeches, proclamation, writings, emblems, banner, or other representations tending to some and speeches, salita sa harap ng mga tao. Article 139, sedition. 1, acts of offenders, rise publicly, be timorously. Publicly, ang ibig sabihin ng publicly ay hindi mabilang-bilang na tao. Timorously, ang ibig sabihin ng timorously ay noisy, disorder, confused, maingay. Disorder ay walang natatawag na may kontrol sa mga tao na yan. 2, means force, intimidation on other means outside or legal methods and political. Kapag sinabing political ay ang mga representante kagaya ng public officer. 3, objects, to prevent the promulgation or execution of any law of the popular election, be to prevent the insular government or any provincial or municipal government or execution of any administrative order. C, inflict any act of hate or revenge upon the person or property of any public officer or employee. D, to commit for any political or social class. And A, to dispel for any political or social end any person, municipality or province or the insular government or the government of the United States of all its property of or any part thereof, sirain. Article 142, inciting to sedition. Punishable acts, inciting others to commit sedition by means of speechless proclamations, writings, emblems, cartoons, banners, or other representations tending to the same end. May tendency para sa mga tao na gawin ang sedition. 2, uttering seditions words of speeches with tend to disturb public place, ang pagsabi ng sedition words. 3, writings, publishing, or circulating scurrilous libels against government or any of its duly constituted authorities, gaya ng mga nangyayari sa na sinisiraan ang gobyerno at saka ito ay may tendency na ang mga tao ay pinag-isa laban sa gobyerno. 4, knowingly concealing such evil practices. Article 145, violation of parliamentary immunity. Parliamentary immunity refers to act or the practice of no makes this apply to the congressman and senator. Number 1, using force, intimidation, threats, or frauds to prevent any member from A, attending meetings of Congress or any of its committees, constitutional commissions, committees, deviations thereof, B. Expressing his opinions, or C. Casting his vote. Pag sinabing frauds, kapag pinigilan siya sa pamagitan ng pwersa, pananakot o panininlang. 2. Arresting, paghuli. Searching, any member while Congress is in session, expert in cases where such member has committed crime punishable under by penalty higher than prison mayor, 6 years and 1 day to 12 years. Ang exception sa bisa ng Article 145 kung ang congressman or ang senator na gumawa ng isang krimen. Congress is in session. Ibig sabihin ng session, mayroon silang schedule na dapat nandoon sila kahit na ang paghuli. Habang ang congressman ay uuwi na galing sa hearing doon sa Congress, pasok pa rin sa tinatawag na Congress. Is in session kasi may number of days. Section 11, Article 1987 Constitution, not more than 6 years. Constitution prevails. Article 145, or ang Constitution ang mananaig sa dawa dahil ang Constitution ay ang fundamental law of the land. Kapag sinabing fundamental law, dapat dito ang batas. Number 1, failing to resist rebellion by all means in their power. Ito yung failure sa part ng offices na labanan talaga ang rebellion sa lahat ng paraan sa ilalim ng kanilang kapangyarihan. 2, continuing to discharge duties of their office under control or rebels. Napapa sa ilalim ng isang lugar ng rebelde, patuloy pa din sila nagtatrabaho. 3, accepting appointment to office under rebels. Inaccept nila ang appointment sa ilalim ng rebelde. Persons in authority and agents of persons in authority. Article 152. Public officer or PO. Any person who takes part in performance of public functions in governor. RPC. Article 203. Employees. Persons in authority. PIA. Any person directly vested with jurisdiction, whether as individual or as member of some court or government corruption, board or commission. RPC Article 152 Part 1. Jurisdiction is a power. Agent of person in authority. APIA. Any person who by direct provision of law or by election or duly appointment with maintenance of public order and protection and security of life and property. RPC Article 152 Part 2. Important notes. Person coming to aid of PIA. APIA RA 1978. Isang tao na tumulong sa PIA nung aksyonan na ninulungan siya ng PIA. Ang PIA ay inatake, may direct assault laban sa PIA base sa Republic Act 1978. Ang taong kahit na private person na tumulong sa person and authority na sa aktong yun ay person authority ay natake na mayroong direct na nangyari na ma-considered. Article 148, direct assault. Way of committing direct assault. Number 1, without PU, playing force or intimidation for attainment of any of purpose encountered in defining crimes of sedition and rebellion. Public uprising. Public uprising ay hindi lang pang dalawang tao kundi pang maramihan. Ito ay tinatawag na public uprising. Rebellion, unang term. Direct assault ay walang public uprising. Sedition, direct assault. Depende sa dalawa kung saan ang maayon o saan pumasok, pero ang pinaka-purpose nito ay ang rebellion, pero dito walang public uprising. Direct assault of first form without PO, by attacking, by employing force or seriously intimidating, or by seriously resisting any or any of his agents, Kapya, while engaged in performance of official duties or an occasion of such performance without public uprising, the second form of public assault, person in authority. DA of second form, it means committing of direct assault. Number 1, employing force. 2, attacking. Taking 3 to 4, seriously. Taking about, intending or resisting. Pia more, laying of hands. Apia, serious. Not in actual performance of official duties. Ito yung circumstances na ang public officer or person on in authority or apia ay not in actual performance of official duties. Kung apia or apia ay hindi natin matawag na actual performance of official duties, we do not speak DA, concept defiance of authority. Ibig sabihin nito ang pagsuway sa otoridad. 1. Pia or apia exceeds his powers, acts without authority. Exceeds, sumobra. Example, kung ang isang tao ay uhulihin ng officer or police na walang dalang warrant of arrest at nasipa ng tao ang police, ito ay hindi matatawag na direct assault. Number 2, unnecessary use of force or violence. Halimbawa, kung ang police ay may dalang warrant of arrest at ang taong hinuli nila ay nilaban labang ang mga pulis ay gumamit sila ng dahas, kaya bunga doon ang tao ay lumaban, kaya hindi ito ay matatawag na justification. 3. Descended to matters without one private in nature. Halimbawa, ang tao ng isang husband ay kinabit ng isang mayor, kaya ito ay pinuntahan at sinuntok, kaya ito matawag na defiance authority. Number 2, two kinds of DA of second form. 1. Simple assault, lower penalty. 2. Qualified assault, higher penalty. Marapat lang na mapatawan ng taas na penalty. DA, qualified. 1. Committed with weapon. 2. Offender. 3. Offender lays hands upon person in authority. PIA. Important notes. Knowledge of accused victims being PIA or APIA. Essential. PIA or APIA not in actual performance of duty. Evidence of motive of offender important. Halimbawa, kung ang PIA APIA ay hindi aktual na nag-perform ng kanyang trabaho sa paraan na inatake ito, dapat daw malaman ang motibo. PIA or APIA agrees to fight. DA still present. Pumayag ang PIA o APIA na makipagsuntukan. Meron itong DA, complex crime. In DA, PIA, APIA, A, killed, DA without murder, with murder, homicide. Kung pumatay ang PIA or APIA, ang krimen ay daw murder or homicide. Depende na lang kung meron pang qualified circumstance. Kung meron pang tinatawag natin na murder, pero kung wala, that is homicide. V. Seriously injured. DA and SPI. The victim serious injured, kaya tinatawag na DA with serious physical injured. SPI. C. Less seriously injured. The victim was unless seriously injured, so there will be DA with less serious physical injured. D. Slightly injured. PAD and STPI, APIA. Kung slightly injured yung biktima or PIA, yung biktima yung krimen ay dalawa, DA at STPI. Kung APIA yung biktima ay natamo niyang STPI, isa lang ang DA, kaya ang STPI ay absorbed na ang DA. No DA. There is no DA in the instance. A. PIA, APIA suspended. When the PIA or APIA is suspended, kung ang tao ay suspended, they cannot function his public office kasi suspended siya. Halimbawa, kung ang mayor ay na-suspended, ang defiance of authority ay wala dahil suspended siya. Kung PIA, APIA ay discharged, start na ang di kaya ng resignate, so that regard na tinatawag natin na public function or DA. B. Accused in performance of official duties, crime committed. Coercion o physical injuries. Kung akusado ay nang perform talaga sa kanyang pag-atake, ang krimen ay hindi DA. Magresulta lang ito sa coercion or kung pinilit ng PIA or APIA na gawin ang isang bagay. So it means coercion or physical injuries. Article 149, Indirect Assault. Elements. 1. APIA, victim of any forms of DA. Direct assault. Agent person, APIA, agent person and authority. Merong unang nangyayari. Ang pangyayaring ito ay patungkol sa direct assault laban sa agent, person, and authority. 2. Person comes to the aid of APIA, na isang tao na nakakita sa APIA na ito ay biktima ng any forms of direct assault at yung tao na yun ay tumulong sa APIA. 3. Offender use force intimidation upon such person. Ang krimen ng dapat indirect assault, isa lang ang nabiktima niyan, ang taong tumulong sa APIA na ang APIA ay naging biktima ng direct assault. Ang kaibahang direct assault sa indirect assault. Ang biktima ng direct assault: 1. PIA, 2. APIA, 3. PIT, professor, instructor to teach, 4. Lawyers. Any person. 5. Any person comes to aid of PIA. Ang taong tumulong sa PIA ay nagiging APIA. Sa kaso ng indirect assault, may unang nangyayari ay may APIA at biktima sa krimen ng direct assault. Ang pinakabiktima nito sa indirect assault ay 1. Any person comes to the aid of APIA. Take note, sa kaso sa indirect assault, dapat tumulong siya na inatake ito. Kailangan ang PIA ay biktima ng direct assault. Article 151. Resistance and disobedience to a person in authority of the agents of such person. Elements of resistance, serious disobedience. Direct assault. Sa direct assault, dito ay aktual ang pag-perform ng kanyang trabaho o di kaya base sa kanyang pag-atake. Number 1, PIA or APIA and performance of official duty, lawful order to offender. Act. Number 2, act of offender. A. Resist. B. Seriously disobeys PIA or APIA. Resist. Pag sinabing resist ay pumalag. Number 3, act not in Article 148 to 150. The act of the offender is not covered under Articles 148 to 150. Hindi siya ma-qualify doon sa direct assault. APIA and performance of official duty gives lawful order to offender. 2 acts of offender disobeys APIA. Article 153. Tumults and other disturbance of public order. Punishable acts. Number 1, causing any serious disturbance in public place, office, or establishment. Number 2, interrupting or disturbing public performances, functions, gatherings, peaceful meetings if act is not included in Article 131 to 132. Number 3, making or pretending to incite rebellion or sedition in any meeting, association, public place. Number 4, displaying placards, emblems without provoke disturbance or public order in such place. 5, burying with pump body of person who has been legally executed. Pump body of person. Ang ibig sabihin nito ay sineman niya na ang parang binigyan ng parangal ang isang tao na magbigay sa isang tao na ito ay napatawan ng death penalty ng gobyerno, legally executed. Kung ang isang tao ay napatawan ng death penalty, may option pwedeng ibigay sa family or hindi, i-claim ng family, ibigay ng gobyerno or sa medical study. Article 155. Alarms and scandals. Punishable acts. Discharging any firearm, rocket, firecracker, or other explosive within any town, place with procedure, alarm, or danger. Firearms. A and C, IA and S, IDFA. These are the possibilities when the firearm is being discharged, and by the way, in the case of rocket for cracker, pinapaputok pag holiday, the differentiate of a particular person when it was discharged. In this case, attempted murder, homicide, parricide, and infanticide, there have two situation. Number 1, hit, move, mortal. 2, not hit. 2, instigating or taking active part in any charivari or other disorderly meeting offensive to another or prejudicial to public tranquility. Disturbing public peace while wandering at night or while engaged in any other nocturnal amusements. Number 4, causing any disturbance or scandal in public places while intoxicating or other provided Article 153 is not applicable. Charivari medley of disturbant voices, mock serenade of discordant noises made in kettles, tins, horns, etc. designed to annoying or insult. Delivering premises from jail, DPF. Offender usually committed by outsider. It may also apply to employee of penal establishment provided he does not have custody or charge of such person. Infidelity in custody of premises, ICP. Offender, PO who had prisoner in his custody or charge who was in connivance with prisoner and later escape. Dulo, convenience intent. D indicates that there is intent. Culpa. It could also be committed by means of culpa. Ito yung may tinatawag na negligence or importance on the part of the public officer. So it finally the custody of prisoners problem and liability. Prisoner, detention sentence. 2 applies to prisoner in hospital or asylum. 3, offender, fall actually presently in custody. Change of prisoners, example guard on duty. Infinitely in custody of prisoner, Article 223. Number 4, crime committed by prisoner. Treason, murder, parricide, act of taking place of prisoner in prison. Accessory, Article 19, Part 3. Number 5, liability of prisoner who escapes detention. Prisoner not criminally liable, convict by final judgment, evasion of service of his sentence. RPC, Article 157. Number 6, if delivery of prisoner was committed, a bravery jail, P jailer, FPO identifying in custody of prisoner. Article 223 of bravery. Article 210 prisoner evasion of service of sentence if already convicted by final judgment. Ang pagtanggap ay bravery. Ang pagbigay ay corruption of public officer. Article 157, evasion of service of sentence elements. Number 1, offender, convict by final judgment. Number 2, serving sentence, deprivation of liberty. And 3, act of convict, evade service of his sentence by escaping during term of his sentence. Qualifying circumstances if such evasion escape takes place. Number 1, by means of unlawful entry, by scaling. Number 2, by breaking doors, windows, gates, roofs, or floors. 3, by using picklocks, false case, disguise, deceit, violence, intimidation, convicts employees of penal institution. No evasion of sentence. Number 1, accused who escapes during appeal or detention, prisoner. Number 2, minor delinquents. And 3, deportees, mga foreigners scheduled to be deported andoon sa Bureau of Investigation. Notes, persons convicted for evasion disqualified from ISLAW.